Hey everyone, it's Brandy and welcome back to my channel, Brandy Janae's Bookshelf. Today I'm going to be going over all of my goals for 2022. So I'm pretty sure that last year when I did my goals video, I kind of did a recap of my previous year's goals as well. I was going to do that, but I decided that I'm actually going to just do a goals check-in along with all of my stats and things like that for 2021, just to see if I was able to get through everything. I feel like it makes the most sense to go over that with the stats. Maybe not, I don't know. I just wanted this whole video to be about 2022 basically. I didn't set out to have a certain amount of goals this year. I just had some things that I wanted to focus in on, and I think once I did that I ended up with 9. Yes, I had to double check, make sure that all of these I was sticking with, but yeah, as of right now, unless I decide during this video that I'm gonna cut something out, I have 9 goals for this year, and all of these goals are reading based, and I think maybe 1 or 2 of them are community, bookish community based instead of just reading specifically. So starting off with the reading goals, because I feel like that makes the most sense. So overall, I would like to read a total of 200 books. I don't think that this will be a problem because over the past few years where I was reading consistently, I read over 200 books. And this is considering the fact that sometimes I do read and forget to record. Over the past few years, 2020 was the only year that I did not have or get to 200, and that's mostly because one, I wasn't recording each time that I read something, because I read several series 3-4 times in that year. Also, with COVID and my living situation, I just wasn't able to read as much as I usually would, but I shouldn't have a problem with meeting and surpassing this goal this year. So yeah, that's where I have my overall reading goal set to for this year. And kind of going off of that, more genre specific, I have 2 main goals as far as genre that I would like to read. So the first of those is that I would like to read more romance. For as long as I can remember, I have always been a romance reader, but I noticed over the past year I have been not necessarily reaching towards romance. Now I know I read fantasies and things like that that might have a little inkling of romance in it, but I usually enjoy romance no matter what. And the fact that I did not pick up a lot of that over the past year, I am not happy with that. So basically I want to rectify that by reading more romance, and I have already probably did a very bad thing of buying books to help with that, because I might have things on my Kindle, but I forget about that easily because it's not physically in my face all the time. So yeah, I just, in general, I would like to read more romance, more adult contemporary romance. I would like to try out more paranormal romance as well as fantasy romance, because I do enjoy those as well, but mostly adult romance, because I have strayed far away from that so far. And then kind of in the opposite direction as far as genre, I would like to read more adult sci-fi fantasy books. I have been meaning to do this for years now, and I feel like 2021 was the first year that I really truly tried and jumped out of my comfort zone box and really went out there with some of the things that I picked up. I find that if I get an audiobook, it's a lot more accessible to me, because if I try to read it physically, because of how much I usually try to fit in, just because I know I'm always super excited to read things, and if I don't read it as soon as I'm excited for it, then I'll forget about it for probably a year or so. So because of that, I don't always give myself time to read physically and just savor the story. but I do find that with audiobooks it really helps me to kind of just dive into the story, not worry about the size of the book, and whether or not I'm able to get into the fantasy world, because listening to the audiobook I kind of just have to go with it. Like I can rewind, but I kind of just go with it, and if it's something that I'm really not catching on, then I'll go back or try to like look for a little bit more information. But usually after a certain point I'm able to pick up at least the basics and understand that enough to get to the story, and then that leaves for whenever I go back for a reread, I can enjoy it more the second time around or third time around, because I have like a basic understanding, and now I'm like really going in for the enjoyment. I ended up rambling on. I would like to read more adult science fiction and fantasy. I do also have a few of those on my list. If you haven't seen my January TBR already, I will make sure to link that up above for you guys. But I have a few on my list, and I will continue to try to read more throughout the year. So moving on from genre and more towards a specific like format, I would like to complete some of the manga series that I have started and I'm in the middle of. I do have a few series that I currently own or I purchased and I'm still waiting on copies for, like one series in particular, but I have a few, and my goal was to try to get through some of those at the end of last year, but I didn't have enough time for that, or I just, you know, was reading other things. So I just want to get to some, or finish up some of my manga series, because I've been having the urge to buy more manga series, and I feel like I shouldn't, you know, get more until I've read some of these, because you can kind of see my shelf here. I think I did like 2 kind of big Right Stuff orders, and during those orders I kind of collected some series. So I have a few series. I think I named off a few that I have that I would like to read. Some of these I would definitely like to finish this year. So I know for sure Sweat and Soap, that series, I think the last volume actually just released the day before I'm filming this, or maybe a couple of days before I'm filming this. I did actually just pre-order that though through Right Stuff. So I think 2 of the mangas in that order, they're still like out of stock, so I don't think they're going to ship it until those 2 are ready. So I'm probably going to be waiting for a while, but honestly that's okay, because that gives me the opportunity to read some other stuff first. So I have Sweat and Soap, which I definitely want to finish this year. I have Astra Lost in Space. I picked up that entire series and I haven't started that yet. I have Girl Got Game. I got almost halfway through the series, so I'm going to finish that. Another nostalgia series is The Model. I have The Golden Sheep. I do have like several series on my shelves that either I want to finish or want to get caught up on. And then from there, like a couple like reading challenges I guess for myself is this year I'm also going to be doing my 12 must reads of 2022, just like I did last year. I don't know how many of you guys are keeping up with what I put on that list and what I did and did not read. I actually did not finish that, but I would like to get through the books that I did not finish this year. I actually have a separate list, but right now we're talking about the 12 months reads. So this year, I guess in order to help myself make sure that I don't forget anything or go like, because I think a couple times I went a few months or maybe a month or so without reading anything from this list. So I actually made a jar, or used a jar that I got in a box because it was just like sitting in a box. Anyway, I made a list of 12 books, and I have them all like in here, like what I do with my deck of TBR jars, but this one will specifically be for my 12 must reads. I have those all in here. I do also have like a spread in my journal. I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek because I'm actually about to film this video right after this, and I want you guys to watch that. So here's a quick sneak peek of those books that are on that list, and that'll just be me trying to read one of those each month. And then other than that, the other kind of like challenge, I don't want to call it a challenge, I made another list of books that I'm also excited for. Excuse any smudging. I printed this on like glossy sticker paper, and I'm thinking that I might get some like matte sticker paper and reprint and this put those over this, because literally every time I touch these they're smudging off, and it's been days since I've printed this out. So I don't know what that's about, but it didn't like that. So here is my other list of, I don't remember how many books. It was supposed to be 24 books, but I'm pretty sure that this ended up being like way more than 24. So yeah, I just counted really quick, and this actually ended up being 38, because I was going to say like I can add like 2 of these a month, so that it was going to be 24, but it ended up being more than that, because every time I was like, ooh, I want to read this, and I was just like, okay, we're gonna add that to the list. And I could have added my entire TBR to the list, but I didn't want to do that this year. So that could be a future year thing. The next goal that I have is more like not necessarily reading related, but book buying related, and this is that I would just like to try out more books from the library before I buy stuff. I know sometimes I have a tendency to just pick up things. I hear a few people say good things about it, and I'm just like, okay, I think I'll enjoy it. Or every now and then I'll just like, ooh, that looks good, let me pick that up and just give it a try, not knowing anything about it. And sometimes it obviously comes back to bite me in the butt. So I would just like to try more things and like a wider variety of things before buying them, just so I can, one, branch out a little bit more, and then two, maybe save some money if I come across a book that I'm just like, okay, no, I really didn't enjoy that, and I don't have to worry about trying to pick up my own copy or having a copy that I don't want, because, you know, obviously I've already bought it. So I think that in 2021 I did a pretty good job of this, not intentionally. I was just trying to use the library a little bit more because I have other responsibilities, also other things that I would like to do that I need to save money for. So once you see my book haul at the end of this month, you're gonna see that I went a little bit crazy, but I think that most likely this is going to be the last big haul that I have, probably until my birthday, and maybe not even then, because like my family is trying to plan a big trip like at the end of the year, and I want to start saving up for that so that I have extra money for that. So because of that, I don't want to be wasting money on books, especially when the library is right there. And I am lucky enough to now have a library, although their physical selection isn't always the greatest. We have a lot of different libraries that we do like interlibrary loans with, and if my library doesn't have it, 9 times out of 10 another one has it, and it usually only takes a few days to get to me, as long as no one else is waiting on the copy. So, you know, in order to be able to like branch out and try new things, or try things before getting copies, just to kind of, I guess, curate my TBR, or not my TBR, curate my shelves more so for what I enjoyed versus just having a bunch of books. Like, I like having books that I haven't read yet, but I would like the majority of my books to be ones that I do enjoy and want to, like, I guess, display or have on my shelves as part of my collection versus just a bunch of random books. So I'm gonna try to like step it up a little bit more than I did last year. And then my last 2 goals are more so community related. So the first of the community related is just that I would like to get active again in the community. Something that you guys probably don't know about me, and I'm kind of ashamed about it, is that I have not really been watching booktube videos. I felt like I was going through spurts before, but I have this tendency that when I start getting back into booktube videos, I'm like, I have to watch every single video that every person that I'm subscribed to has ever published. And realistically, that's just not possible, because I think at this point I'm probably subscribed to almost like 200 people, and some people like post 3-4 times a week, or they have like hour-long vlogs that they post once a week along with other content, and it's just like, it's not actually possible to read that or watch that many videos. And I feel like I'm very quickly getting burnt out. So while I enjoy hearing people talk about books, I have a limit, because once I reach that limit or try to go beyond that limit, then I just like, I'll try to start watching a video. I might get through half of one and be like, I don't want to watch this, I don't feel like watching this, and then I'll just like sit there not doing anything, or I'll go watch Sims videos. That's a lot of what I've been watching in the meantime. But I've been slowly getting back into booktube videos, like over the last like month and a half. I think I've been trying to slowly work my way in there. So at this stage, I've been doing a lot of watching, not a lot of commenting, or really not any commenting. So I would like to get back into not only watching but commenting. Just have to be a little bit more strategic with how I do that. And then the final goal that I would like to accomplish, which I hopefully have done my portion of this by the time that the video goes out, is that I plan to create a Discord so that I am, I guess, more easily accessible when it comes to interacting. I always feel really bad when it comes to comments, because I usually have every intention on responding to them within the week. However, if I don't get to them like at the specific time where I'm like, okay, this is when I'm gonna do it, then I have 20 other things that I need to do, and it ends up like going a couple weeks and I still haven't responded. And I go through stages, like I go through phases, I guess, where I'll be on top of it, and then 1 week will slip, and then I'm like off track for the next couple months. So my plan is to, I obviously want to get better at commenting, but for like everyday things, or just like in general things that aren't necessarily video related, if we want to do buddy reads, or just like talking about books that we are enjoying, or update, like just whatever, I want to create a Discord so that you guys can interact with me a lot easier. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I know that everyone is doing Patreon, but I feel like I don't personally have the time to dedicate to trying to figure out extra content just to feel like you guys are getting money's worth for Patreon. Like, I don't feel like I should have content behind like a paid wall. Nothing wrong with that if people are putting in extra effort to do those things, but I just feel like I don't have enough time in my personal life to put forth that extra effort, and I don't want to feel like I don't know. I thought about it, and then I was just like, I really don't feel like I have enough extra going on for that, and I don't want to have to like stress myself out with trying to figure out extra content just so you guys have, or just so I feel like it's worth it to open up a Patreon. So instead of that, I figured I would do a Discord. That's my plan. Hopefully you guys will be interested in joining that and like chatting with me, or whoever decides to join the group and things like that. But I'm pretty sure that that was the last of my goals. So I have 2 questions actually for you down in the comments. Let me know if you would be interested in joining the Discord, and hopefully, most likely, the link for the Discord should be in the description box. I had started to record it, but then I was trying to think of a name. I think I'm just going to use my channel name. Hopefully you can change it, so if anyone has any better ideas, name ideas for like the Discord server, you can let me know and I can update that, because I suck at coming up with names. Other than that, let me know what are some of your goals for 2022, whether that be reading goals, personal life goals, if you want to share that, or like anything along those lines. Just let me know down in the comments. I would be interested to know, and I will see you guys in whatever video I upload next. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again in the next one. Bye.